Hello everyone and welcome to Raging Loop. This is a look at the Nintendo Switch version of the game, but you can also get it on the PlayStation 4 and Steam. It doesn't come out until the 22nd. This is an early look. It comes out on the 5th, December 5th for Steam. And if you want a physical version of the PlayStation 4 Switch version, that'll be out on November 19th, I believe. I think it's by Limited Run Games, but I could be wrong. So we're gonna turn. Oh god, these are some bare settings. All right. Forced unlocked. Please use only in unforeseen circumstances, such as data deletion. Okay. Oh. Okay. Let's turn the volume down just a tad. There we go. Be okay. Change all. What does that mean? Okay. So this is a horror game. It's kind of like a horror thriller type game, which is really cool. You know, a good fitting game for the month that we're in. Read. It doesn't start, it just says read. That's interesting.
ようこそノベルアドベンチャーゲームレイジングループの世界へ。私は単なるどれに足らないインターフェイス的キャラクターです。そうですね。リカコとでもお呼びください。ここでは初めてプレイなさる皆様にこのゲームの遊び方を簡単にご説明いたしたいと存じます。いくつか変わったところのあるゲームですので、最初はぜひとも全部の説明をお読みいただきたいと思います。
Okay.
特に動画配信をなさる方は4動画やシェアについてだけでも必ずお読みくださいね。
There's limitations on this according to the press release I got. And apparently, like in the game, you can actually see how far along you are. So like it'll tell you when you have to stop recording or uploading your gameplay or whatever, or streaming.
最後まで読んでいただけたら私のセクシーな画像が見られません。世間は厳しゅうございます。さめざめ。
Yeah, it's not that kind of game.
さて、何からご説明いたしましょう。
This is cute. I like this. Special functions, standard functions, videos, and sharing. I'm good. I mean, special functions maybe?
レイジングループの独特な機能について説明
I
い
don't know
たします
what that
ね。
means, so let's get a little bit clarification.
レイジングループのストーリーは複雑に分岐しております。どう分岐したのか管理するのは大変かもしれません。でも心配無用。本作ではシナリオチャートという便利機能が採用されています。メニューを開けばチャートという機能にいつでもアクセスでき、そこからシナリオの全図が見られるのです。さらにこのシナリオチャートを使えば入ったことのあるチャプターにいつでもどこでもどこからでも移動が可能。
So you can replay things. That's pretty nice.
もう選択肢では必ずセ
Thank
ーブ
God.
とは申しません。これでいつでも
Every
選
visual
択肢
novel
を選
needs
び直せ
this.
ますので。
It's so annoying to have to do that. Otherwise, you gotta skip a bunch of. Gotta go back like to the last choice, and then you gotta skip a bunch of stuff, and it's just frustrating if you didn't save it.
シナリオチャート機能についてはまた後でもう一度使いどころの説明がありますので、よくわからなくても大丈夫ですよ。
Okay.
次にキーについて。
Oh yeah, I saw this feature. This was actually interesting.
レイジングループの物語分岐はすべて選択肢を選んだ瞬間に発生いたします。後から聞くものは存在しません。その代わりいくつかの選択肢はキーと呼ばれる特定の情報がないと開くことができません。このキーを探すことこそレイジングループの大きな目的だと言えるでしょう。
So some things you can't even get to unless you know bits of information.
その探し方は実際に手に入った時に説明があるそうですのでご心配なく。ちなみに 一度キーを入手して解放されたルートはセーブデータと
Okay,
関係
well
な
that's
く
nice.
開きっぱなしになります。逆に言うとキーが未入手の状態にはロードしても戻れま
Oh
せん。
yeah, it's also true. Cannot load back into it because it's already going to be overridden.
それで読めなくなる文章はありませんのであまり困ることはないと思いますがご承知くださいね。キーがない状態に戻して遊びたいという既得なお方には全データを初期化する手もあります。
Okay, so you
ご利用
can
は計画
just
的に。
delete it all if you really want to. Okay, well I think I'm good. Yeah, let's go.
ふうふう、とても長くなってしまいました。ここまでお
Rikako
読み
thanks
い
you
た
for
だ
reading
き
this far.
誠にありがとう存じます。それではいよいよ物語の始まりです。
Alright, let's get into it.
限りなく濃い霧と血煙の向こう、繰り返される絶望と悲嘆の果て、人狼村の真実をどうかその目でご覧くださいませ。ペコリ。
That was fun, right? It's 5:11. Sunday. I closed in on the side of the road and killed the engine. It was steeper than I thought. My bike was on the verge of giving out, so I pushed down and deployed the kickstand. Well, I'm lost. Maybe taking a ride down an unknown road with no sat-nav on me wasn't such a good idea after all. I just followed the road, so I figured I wouldn't get lost, but no, I was in some deep shit. No, cool it. This isn't a big deal. I sighed and took note of the fact that I'd gotten lost in my pocket journal and then pulled out a map. Suddenly, a rush of memories flitted into my mind. No, we can't unlock that. We need 4 keys. So, okay, since you don't obviously would have this, you would have to replay the game, I assume? So, like, New Game Plus type stuff to get other scenarios and scenes? That's the only thing I can think of, because there's no way you could have this right now. I somehow kept myself from remembering those things. After all, I'd gone on this trip to forget. Oh, he gets to talk.
やめやめ。目の前の現実を直視。人生はシンプル。つまりこの道のごとく、真っ暗で道案内もなく、進むか返すか。考えることはそれだけ。
Going back wasn't an option in this case, so I just moved forward. Still, I wanted to know where I was at least, so I looked down at my map. It was all Greek to me. Last time I'd seen a sign, it was still light out, meaning that I'd gotten lost after the sun had set. Sure, it was my own fault for just guessing which intersection I'd been passing through, and that had taken me 2 hours to conclude I was lost. Crazy to think that just 2 hours of aimless driving got me almost completely surrounded by mountains. They extend as far as the eye could see. If you flipped the scenery upside down and shook it, it's unlikely even a shred of civilization would tumble out. Besides the asphalt below, my sweet ride, and the lamppost above, first one in a while, mind you, there was nothing man-made here. The pocket map I had wasn't detailed enough for me to figure out where I was.
進むか。
All we can do is keep driving, right? I go as far as I could. If worst comes to worst, I could jump camp at the side of the road. Two hours later, I deeply regretted thinking that. Basically, camping wasn't an option. This mountain road had no side to camp on. A dump truck I'd passed barely even fit on it. But I'd also had my first close encounters with wild forest animals. I'd already seen 2 boars and 3 deer in those 2 hours alone. One of the deer ran parallel to my bike while intently staring at me, and I had no idea what to think of that. I felt like it could smell my fear and did it just to make it worse. How dare the thing do that to a human? We're the kings of this planet, damn it. I'd have to remember to eat some venison once I came back to civilization. Anyway, camping out here was a bad idea. I'd end up as either roadkill or animal food. Neither of which are appealing. And yet I didn't back out. Why? Well, because I'm a pretty warped sort of guy and I won't pretend otherwise. That was actually the reason why my once comfortable relationship had gone awry, and why I'd gone on this stupid trip anyway. Still, despite acknowledging that, I chose to keep moving forward. Wasn't like I'd find a place to stay if I went back. I was actually starting to think that this experience might make a good conversation piece sometime down the road. It was really getting late at this point. Where would these roads take me anyway? Gotta go somewhere. All those lead to Rome. Probably be disappointing. Soon enough the road became flat and I was out of the mountain pass. The forest remained abundant though, so I still didn't see much. Even so, the streetlights and signs were enough to make me feel like I was again nearing civilization. Was streetlights the right expression for lights in a forest? I'd have to look that up. As the road grew less rugged, I realized just how exhausted I was. All this bike handling left my hands really sore too. I really had to rest. Suddenly, I saw something unexpected. Powerful, colorful, artificial lights. Convenience store? How convenient. Yep, that's exactly what it was. It was next to an intersection between the road I was on and another, even thinner road that could probably support only a single car. The sea of trees ended, giving room for the majestic child of our consumerist society. Yeah, that was an exaggeration. Apparently even a damn store was a big deal for someone who just stepped out of the wild. It's called Fresh Market. Sorry. I'd seen several of them a few times during the day. It was probably a local franchise. The building didn't look all that old, at least. The parking lot looked a lot smoother compared to the roads. This was a pretty weird place to build something like that, though. I mean, there's really nothing here. Was it close to a settlement, or did they actually make a profit off of lost travelers? I'd just ask that or something. A local shopkeeper was bound to know what was around these parts. Not to mention I was thirsty. And hungry, probably. Oh. I like that. I was welcomed by it. It looked like a normal convenience store. I mean, there were goods on the shelves, a counter to the left, and... The worker at the counter was so mean looking, it was scary. They were so imposing. I wouldn't have doubted if someone told me she was in charge of some ladies' army corps. Was that supposed to be a greeting? It was so damn cold, it gave me chills. Was this store shadier than it appeared? Was I about to be stupidly overcharged? Was this how this place made a profit? By taking advantage of lost people and basically beating them out of their money? Shit, that was scary. Literally, the Wonderland had only just begun. Woohoo! I was sure I was excited for the beating. I grew more nervous and less enthusiastic by the second. I braced myself, but she just looked down at a magazine in her hands. Oh, so she was just a slacker. Well, to be fair, I used to work at a convenience store. Well, sometimes. I didn't always work there. I worked at a grocery store, which had like a gas station attachment. And sometimes I had to work overnight when the person called off. And it's so boring. There's nothing to do. I wouldn't be surprised if you read a magazine. It was just awful. Couldn't do anything. Slightly disappointed, I walked around the store. It was about what you'd expect. There was a small shelf with energy drinks, followed by some stationery, travel goods, sanitary stuff, etc. There were sweets that came with toys, a shelf of cup ramen noodles and dried food, a fridge, a freezer. You know, it looked normal. It was late, so the daily dish and packed lunch section was completely empty. The only special thing about this place was a section full of unpacked vegetables you'd expect to see at a greengrocer's. Maybe all rural convenience stores were like this? Who knows? I was slightly surprised by that, but there weren't any local fine foods or anything, so all in all, it was an unremarkable store if you ignored the clerk anyway. I took a drink and brought it to the register. Yes, you have to do work now. I'm so sorry. She really was the highlight of this place. What kind of clerk smokes while dealing with the customer?
買うのかよ。
What do you mean I'm actually buying? I was actually buying. She was the clerk and I'd be her god, the customer.
126円。
You didn't even scan it. This exchange is at the mercy of the clerk. God is dead. Maybe I had to get mad at her?
ちょっといいですか？
あ？
実は道に迷ってしまって。
Quickly turned meek.
町はどっちにあるでしょうか？
あっち。
いや、できれば地図
Can you be a little more, in depth here?
ない。
You don't have a map? Man, this woman. Ugh.
いや、そんなはずはないでしょ。コンビニなんて大体道聞かれるから、地図は常備して
I
る
don't
もんでしょ。
believe you. You must have a map of some sort.
知らねえよ。ないもんはねえ。おとなしく来た道戻れよ。
You know, I'd love to, but
も
I've
う
been
数
lost
時
for a
間
few
迷ってる
hours.
もんで、これ以上はちょっと。
その辺の床で寝てけば。
She had to be joking.
いや、お気持ちだけでいいんで、道だけちゃんと教えていただけたら。
ああ、もう、せえな。待ってろ。
The clerk put out her smoke in the ashtray and went to the staff-only area. She came back in no time.
あったわ。
So she did have a map. Of course she did. Even more ill-tempered than usual, the clerk started giving an explanation.
これがこの店。で、十字路を北へ行け。しばらくしたら陸橋があっから渡れ。最初の分岐のとこに大岩があっからそこを右折してあとは直線。
この道？
んだよ。
いや、この先何もなくないです？
書かれてねえだけで集落があんだよ。
そこ以外なら？
富士吉村まで行くには峠道を2時間。こっちなら30分で着く。
Fujiyoshi seemed to be a village. Didn't look too far away, but the road leading to it was a huge branching mess. It's clearly just a paid mountain pass. I'd have enough of those for one night. I'd probably get lost again anyway.
じゃあ、こっち行ってみます。ありがとうございます。
金。
はい。
What?
払ってねえだろ。茶のや
We
つ。
didn't? Oh, thought we did.
ああ、じゃあ500円。なぜ、お釣りを無断で募金箱に入れるんですか？
小銭多いとうぜえだろ。
That's my money. I want it. That was a hell of a line. I casually thanked her, grabbed the plastic bottle of tea. She didn't give me a bag, by the way. Why would you need a bag for a bottle of tea? And left the store. Well, I mean, I guess we're on a motorcycle. But I drank the tea in the parking lot and looked up at the moon, obscured by clouds, but still bright enough to outshine the light of the convenience store. The clerk put me in a bad mood, though, so I didn't really enjoy it. I threw the bottle into a nearby trash can and aggressively drove away. Whew. Following the directions, I crossed the overpass and arrived at the first fork in the road. The byway she told me about was really narrow. I probably wouldn't have noticed it were not for the tall boulder standing there like a roadside shrine for some traveler deity. Turning carefully, I got on the road. A minute later, I found myself in an even worse wilderness than before. A veil of dead leaves covered the ground. Tall grass sided the path, and the sky above was blocked by overgrown shrubs, making it feel like I was passing a wooden tunnel. The road itself was a huge red flag. It was a wonder why I didn't just turn around. The exchange from before might have pissed me off more than I thought. Still, I really didn't expect the road to just end. Happened about 15 minutes in. The view ahead suddenly turned strangely dark, and a split second later, the bike tipped forward. I reflexively hit the brakes, but it was too late. I started going down a cliff. My bike tilted downward, and its suspension was put to the greatest test yet, as we basically tumbled down to the bottom. The headlights suddenly shone on some dirt and grass. I knew then that I'd be flung out of my seat. Stifling a scream, I tried to work some steering and brake magic to slow down without collapsing, but that was too big a task for a simple road bike. At the bottom of the cliff, it jumped higher than ever before. The suspension couldn't handle the impact, and I was launched into the air. A moment later, I heard a crash and felt an impact, after which came an unpleasant pain. Ow. An accident where I was flung out like that was a first for me. The launch was really something. I did a 360 in the air and fell on my back. My breathing stopped for a moment, and the pain was so bad I thought all my bones had shattered. My face and limbs seemed pretty fine at least, though. I wasn't sure if that was counted as a silver lining. There was grass under my hands. I felt it even through the gloves. That and the smell of green made it pretty clear what I landed on. I pushed down and my hands sunk. The grass growth was pretty hefty. It was probably the reason why I came out relatively okay. Sure, my joints creaked when I stood up, but aside from that, I was fine. It was really dark, so I couldn't really confirm it, but I was pretty sure I wasn't even bleeding. My bike, however, wasn't nearly as lucky. Oh man, what are we doing now? It was lying on its side and a short distance ahead. The engine was still on, the back wheel kept on turning, making an unpleasant fricative noise. Yep, it was busted. I walked up, killed the engine, took the key. With the headlights off, I was surrounded by absolute darkness, so I just kind of stood and waited until my eyes adjusted. I still couldn't see very clearly, but it looked like this actually wasn't a cliff. I was still on a road, it just wasn't paved beyond this point. Obviously, a road bike stood no chance against an unpaved road. That woman actually tried to kill me. Zigzagging through the trees, I followed the narrow footpath deeper into the forest. I tried getting my bike up and running again, but instantly gave up. It was partially stuck in mud, so there was the risk of it slipping and getting me into another accident. Maybe I had to turn around. The moment I considered that, I thought I saw a faint light ahead. If that woman wasn't lying, this road led to a settlement. Was I close? I reached into my jacket's pocket, took out my phone, and opened it up. As you'd expect, I was out of range. I ran the light app and shone a light to see better. Though weak, it was better than nothing. At the very least, it helped me watch where I was going. I had no idea how long I'd been walking for, but sure enough, I could see a light beyond the shrubs. It was weaker than expected. A flashlight, perhaps? I could hear water, too. I might have been near a river. I tried raising my voice. Still declaring my presence, I walked forward. It was late at night. Were I to bump into someone here, the scare would probably take away a few years of our lives. That was why I figured it was best for us both to let the other know we were here before that happened. However, there was no response. Did they not hear me over the rapids? I shone my light ahead and realized I'd made it to an opening. Sure enough, there was a river, or a stream rather. I could see slightly more than I had while surrounded by trees. Straining my eyes, I saw a rocky river beach into the shallows. The light I'd seen was on the other side. From what I could tell, it was either a lantern or a flashlight, and it was close to the ground. Didn't see any people, though. That's unfortunate. No one responded to my shouting either. I wasn't excited about it, but I decided to step into the water. The cold water quickly soaked my shoes and socks. Could have taken them off, but I figured that crossing the river barefoot at midnight was a bad idea. But man, was it cold. Put my phone back into my jacket. I needed both my hands free in case I fell. Not stopping or backing down, I walked toward the light. It suddenly became deeper. The water reached my knees now. I was too close for comfort. Feeling the bottom with my toes and balancing myself, I somehow avoided losing my footing. The flow was fiercer than I'd expected. If I slipped and fell, I'd probably be washed away. It suddenly hit me. I was doing something really weird, but it was too late to back down. Putting my hands on the boulders and carefully checking what I was stepping on, I gradually made it to the other side. Then, with an unpleasant wet sound to my every step, I walked up to the light. I could already see it clearly. Yep, it was a flashlight. Lying on the ground. For some reason. There wasn't much space here. It was a narrow riverbank with a cliff right beside it. As you'd expect, I didn't see or sense anyone nearby. What the hell? Had to have been recent, too. Though old, the flashlight was working fine. The strength of the light told me the battery was pretty full. Maybe that someone was actually using this tonight. Or rather, until a few moments ago. That was the most logical conclusion. It obviously wasn't left here yesterday afternoon or evening. And yet the user was nowhere in sight. And I was near a river. Something bad happened? Did the flashlight's owner step into the stream and get swept away? That was the most likely and worst possible scenario. However, the flashlight was left there practically buried in the pebbles. It didn't seem like someone placed it there to light things up. It was the dead of night. There was no way you would have noticed dropping your flashlight when it was so dark. Right, the fact that a light source was left in a place like this was strange by itself. With that considered, what's going on here? What if someone heard my stupid shouting and decided to lure me in with the light so they could ambush me? Where would they attack from? Above?
こんばんは。
I heard a voice the moment I looked up. The rock cliff was actually made up of several boulders. There was a face peeking up from behind one of them.
こんばんは。
あー、人だ。びっくりした。
That was my line. Huh.
悪いんだけど、それ取ってもらえます？
The voice was feminine. I finally realized what was going on.
落としたってわけですか？
Picked up the flashlight and pointed it at the source of the voice.
Yeah.
High-pitched voice, slender hands shielding the light. Sure enough, it was a young woman.
眩しいな。
お、失礼。ちなみに、こっちはこういうものですが。
怖いです。下から照らさない。
実は、当方道に迷っており。
Yeah, a bit lost.
だとすると、割と究極的に迷ってます。
Oh, she called us out. Yeah, thought as much.
ここって、人里です？
難しい質問だな。
とりあえず、助けてもらえないかと。
助ける？
雨露しのげて、野生動物がいなければ何でもいいんで。
Standing on a boulder, the young woman made a pensive face.
じゃあ、打ち来ます？
And that was the conclusion she had arrived at. Her face told me she was 100% serious. Place, my place, by that she's showing me the house. A settlement. You have to live somewhere.
いいんです。頼んどいてなんですが、遠慮を忘れてすがりたい程度には切羽詰まってるんですが。
え？男として？
ええ。いや違う。一個の生命として。数
As
時
a
間迷
living
った挙句
being.
バイクでこけて、心身ともに限界ってわけです。
あらら。なら、見捨てるのもどうよって感じじゃないです？一個の生命として。
And so I was saved. Oh, the beauty of living beings looking out for each other.
じゃあ手、いいです？ここ、一人じゃ登れないでしょ？
True, honestly, I didn't even realize I'd have to. Meeting another person filled me with relief, which was followed by a sudden wave of fatigue. It wasn't crippling, though. She extended her left hand, so I grabbed it with my own left. The slender fingers were stronger than I expected. The girl's name was Chiemi Serizawa. I asked if she was related to the Shinsengumi guy, but she said that her family just adopted the name at some point in the Meiji period. She was 21-year-old, went to college far away from here. This was her hometown, and she was spending her post-exam vacation here. We chatted about stuff like that once she led me out of the rocky ravine. There was actually a proper path, so the rock climbing was pretty pointless, but I was too focused on my footing to comment. She told me about herself as soon as we reached the solid ground.
ちなみにそちらは？
名前はFusaishi Haruaki。東京で大学院生やってます。
あ、じゃあちょっと年上。
24だから、芹沢さんと3つ違いかな。でもまあ、同世代でしょ。
ちえみでいいですよ。敬語とかもいらないです。
じゃあ僕も、呼び捨てタメ口がいいな。
ですか？
女の子に親しくされてるみたいで、嬉しいからね。
I bet you do. Player you.
なるほど。実は私も堅苦しいの苦手なんで、じゃあ遠慮なく。
どうぞどうぞ。ちなみに、まだ結構遠い？
そうでもないかな。もう5分くらい頑張りましょい。
What a lively girl. You could tell she was used to people.
ただ、足元に気をつけて、明かりだけ見て。
何かあるの？
この辺、石ころだらけで危ないんだ。
Moment she said that, I stumbled on a rock too big to be called a pebble.
あと、今夜はずいぶん暗いしね。
I couldn't even see the moon anymore. That's weird. It was full just a little while ago. Nodding in agreement, I focused on following the light in her hand.
ちょっと待っててもらえます？着替えちゃうんで。
And so I did just that. Given this was a mountain settlement, I'd expected some old wooden house, but she actually lived in an apartment block. Too dark to get a good look at it. All I could see were the cheap-looking walls, like you'd expect from some old boarding house for students. Also, she lived on the second floor, in room 202. I heard some raindrops as we were climbing the rusty stairs, but now it was really pouring. Between that, the darkness, and the large tree right next to the building, it was nearly impossible to see what was going on outside. I felt like I was all alone in a world of nothing but the walls, the door, and the fluorescent lamp above my head. It made me feel somewhat helpless. I distracted myself from that by imagining her changing. Eventually, the door opened up.
お待たせ。上がって。
Did you just put on a jacket? All smile. She showed herself, now wearing the sports clothes. This was kind of exciting.
なんにもないでしょ？
何にもないね。
でも冷蔵庫の中は、ほら！
素晴らしい。
Alcohol?
飲みますか？
Alcohol.
やったぜ！
Yeah, let's drink. Let's get drunk. Oh my gosh, it looks like she's drunk already. Her place really was empty. It was just a small room with a low table in the middle, a fridge near the door, and a large duffel bag deeper in. There were two old-looking bookshelves too, but they were completely empty. I wasn't bothered one bit though. Any girl's room was a wonderland to me.
じゃあ、大変だった春明さんに、お疲れ様！
地獄で出会った仏様に乾杯。
We opened up our cans, knocked them together, and downed them. Hey, it was actually good. The pleasant bitterness and the refreshing carbonation made for a good combo.
おいしい！このためだけに生きてる！
その若さでそれはないでしょう。
言い過ぎた。愛や将来にもまだ絶望してません。
Oh, give it time. You will.
ところが、就活という影が迫る。
いややめて！せっかくのビールがまずくなる。
She laughed and took a huge sip. It was pretty clear she could hold her drink. That aside, something really bothered me.
お誘いに乗っておいてなんだけど。
何？
Her cheeks were already red. Maybe she didn't handle her liquor as well as I thought. She had a well-featured face, and I didn't think it was wrong to consider her beautiful. Sure, her clothes weren't the least bit sexy, but I could tell she had some makeup on.
僕は完全に正体不明の自称迷い人だよね。
そうね。
君は年頃の女性。今は深夜。ワンルームの密室で男と二人っきり。その上アルコールまで入ってしまった。
This is what he says before he, hold you hostage.
おお。
身の危険を感じたりとかは？
Well, now I do. She kept gulping the drink even as she formulated a response. The very fact that I could just watch her do that made this a pretty risky situation, and yet...
あんまりないかな。
それは。
芹沢千恵美クイズ。
Okay.
イエーイ
Yay.
問題。ふと気づいたら低層が瀬戸際にもかかわらず芹沢千恵美は特に身の危険を感じない。なぜでしょう？
What a fun girl. This only made me like her more, increasing the danger even further.
質問 OK？
どうぞ。
僕のことがいい人っぽいという答えはなしでいいかな。
悪い人に見えるってわけじゃないけど、まあなしかな。女の子慣れしてそうだし。
That unintentional compliment showed that she actually did see me as a potential danger.
考えられる回答は大きく2つ。想定外だが何が起きても問題ない。もしくは
Or you
想
actually
定通
want something to happen.
ふむ？
前者はいろいろ考えられるかな。例えばちえみちゃんが何かやけっぱちになっていてどうにでもなれって場合、あるいは十分な自衛手段がある。実は護身術の達人で僕なん
That's what I
か軽く
figured.
乗せる
You could
とか
probably
ね。
kick her ass.
おー、論理的。春秋さん理系だね。
まあそうかな。一方で後者、つまりこの状況が君の想定通りって場合は、
例えば私がエロエロですとか。
Wow, talk about not mincing words.
酔っ払ってきたな。さて、他には何があるでしょう。
Indeed, what other reason could a woman have to bring a stranger to her home? It would surely be something non-standard like...
僕の存在が君の利益になる例。例えばアリバイ工作。君がここにいたと後日僕が証言することで君が有利になる。
おー、ちゃっかり利用するわけだ。
あるいはちえみちゃんが恐るべき殺人鬼で僕を酔っ払わせてぶっ殺す。
はあ、ヤマンバ。いいね。ブッシュブッシュ殺しちゃう。
What kind of sound effect was that?
ちなみに前提で出た2つのケースの他に1つあるよ。
あれ抜けてた？
うん。私がとってもいい人で春秋さんを助けてあげたい一心だっていうケース。
We didn't... The fact that we didn't think that is actually insulting to her. Was it time for me to be ashamed of my filthy mind?
いやでもそれで自分が襲われるかもって考えたら。
おー、襲うって言っちゃったよこの人。
I didn't say that.
一般論ね。
She stopped talking and turned red. It was so cute. I thought she was actually doing it on purpose. Man, was she... We were just on our second cans.
じゃあこういうのは止めないともっとひどいことになる。それはさすがに忍びないなとか。
ごめん。もうちょっと詳しく。
People had been wandering the woods and probably died.
この辺りには怖い野生動物が出ます。
明日にはこの人はズタズタに引き裂かれてしまうかもしれません。このまま見捨てたらとても寝覚めの悪い思いをするかもしれません。それならまあ止めてあげ
So
よ
what
う
was
か
she
しら。
doing out there? That's what I want to know.
なるほど。リスクと善意を天秤にかけるってわけか。これは想定外。
想定外か。この人だいぶ悪い人なんじゃないかって気がしてきたな。
え、そう？
だって善意を選択肢に入れる前に殺人鬼とかアリバイとかエロエロとかさ。
You got us there.
エロエロは君が言い出したんでしょうが。
そうだったっけ？で、答えは？
これって単なるバカ話じゃないの？
正解者には素敵なプレゼント。不正解者はブッシュブッシュ殺します。
Seriously? Oh god. We can't. We need 20 keys? Oh, we're not unlocking that for a long ass time. You're desperate, you need an alibi, thirsty perv, you feel guilty for letting me die.
ピンポーン、正解です。
What's the real answer? Oh, cool.
まあ実際この辺危ないしね。鹿に
She's a cutie. I like her.
野犬にクマ。
鹿とイノシシは実際見たけど、
There's bears out there? Oh man.
うん、月の
Moon
上だよね。
bears?
あんまり多くはないけど。
What the hell is a moon
襲われた人
bear?
もいたし、ちょっと外は危ない。
Do they only come out at night?
なんてワイルドな。
I think you just made that up.
でも本当にヤバい動物は他にいる。
Something even worse than bears? What could possibly be worse than a bear?
なんだろう。クマよりヤバい動物？
Human beings.
ヘビ、サル、
Snakes?
カラス、クモ。
Monkeys? Crows? I mean, spiders I hate. I hate spiders and snakes, but like monkeys or crows, I don't know. Were they venomous or something? I don't get it. I really doubted it. Those really didn't seem worse than bears.
あと、狼。
Okay, yeah, wolves are pretty bad.
日本には狼はいないでしょう。
いるかもよ。こんな田舎には。
He smiled and drank out of the third can.
まあ理由がどうあれ、まんまと美女宅に侵入を果たした春明さんは自分が狼になっちゃうのかな。
Almost like she wants us to sleep with her.
やめとく。
She's desperate and horny.
紳士。
What a
もう
gentleman.
一本あげちゃう。
I wasn't too sure, but I felt like she dodged the subject. Perhaps I wasn't being cautious enough. She is drunk though, so. Then again, I've been wandering aimlessly for a long time by now. I had enough recklessness in me to enjoy sharing a drink with a cute, if shady girl. Oh good, the day has passed. It is now Monday. May 12th. Or December 5th. Depending on how you read that. But it's definitely May 12th. The last thing I remembered was our little, when was the last time you pissed yourself while sleeping talk? I had to tell her about the last time I got so drunk I wet my pants in the middle of the boarding house. She laughed so hard she started frothing at the mouth and passed out. That doesn't seem normal. I woke up with a splitting headache. Oh man. Morning already? Light poured in through the frosted window. I pulled out my phone and checked the time. 7 in the morning. I'd gone to sleep somewhere between 2 and 3, which probably wasn't quite enough sleep. At least I didn't wake up to some horror movie scene. The building wasn't in ruins, the girl wasn't actually a skeleton. Though in a way, this might have been worse. She was spread out on the floor on the other side of the mini table. Her breathing was mixed with some weird gurgling sounds. I hesitantly looked at her. You okay? The saint that saved me from hell I was in last night had puked in the middle of her sleep. What was I supposed to do here? As a guest, I couldn't really be too harsh on her.
ちえみちゃん
Phew.
She wasn't waking up. Well, I just do what little I could. There, that should be good enough. I'd used tons of toilet paper to clean up her mess and flush it down the toilet. Left a stain on the floor, but I was too dirty to begin with, so, whatever. I'd even wet a towel and cleaned her face. Even then, she showed no signs of waking up. Some of it was on her hair and clothes, but I figured it was best if she took care of that herself.
Chiemi-chan.
You threw up on yourself. Wake up. You gotta clean up. Oh, I'd hit a button. What'd I do? Oh, I hit the L button. First hit of consciousness so far today. Without waiting for a response, I walked to the entrance. I have to take a shower and change and all that, so I'd kill time outside. I stepped into my still damp shoes with my bare feet. My socks were in the washing machine with the towel she gave me to wipe my legs, and reached for the doorknob. Oh, it's so bright. I opened the door and was greeted by a gust of wind. The raindrops gathered on the leaves of the tree next to the building flew right into my face, making me grimace. The rain from last night was already over. The sky was pretty clear, but despite that, I noticed the visibility of my surroundings was poor. The building was surrounded by leaves. The old structure was basically buried in a forest of trees about as tall as itself. There were branches poking into the exposed hallway. It almost felt like they'd reach out and grab me if I wasn't careful. I kind of felt like I was in an overgrown ruin. I turned around and saw the room and Shimi just as I left them. Yep, it was all real. I closed the door. There were other rooms in this building, which made me wonder if they were occupied. Hell, I wondered the same thing about the area in general. I pushed the branches aside to see if there were other buildings nearby. Suddenly, something entered my vision. It didn't feel right. Something that shouldn't have been there. The leaves I moved revealed a woman clad in curious clothing. The moment I recognized her as such, she opened her closed eyes. Did our eyes meet? Another strong wind. I shielded my face from the spray of raindrops. When I looked outside again, the woman was nowhere in sight. Was that an illusion? If not, then what? What kind of place was this exactly? Could have been a real Hicksville, a marginal village, a bunch of actual ruins, or an illegal settlement. I had some theories, but I set them aside for now. It seemed like a place worth exploring regardless. I went down the stairs and found no sign of the woman, or anyone else for that matter. A short distance away from the building, I turned around, and sure enough, it was pretty much covered in trees. I went to the place where I saw the woman. There were footprints in the grass here. Maybe I'd find her if I followed them. They led me to an open area. It was in use, but it looked like someone was trying to do something with it. Was it supposed to be a construction site? Even if it was clearly abandoned. There were large rocks and lots of sediment near a prefab. From what I could tell, there had been a giant landslide which forced them to stop construction. The fact that plant growth was still minimal meant that it had happened fairly recently. The footprints seemed to be going down the hill next to the site. Following them, I finally saw something that could be called civilization. There was a set of paddy fields with houses nearby, so this actually was a settlement. What a relief. I decided to keep following the footprints and approach the settlement. I come across another unpaved path that was clearly used by people and cars. It was lined with weeds and bushes reaching up to my waist. It was home to caterpillars and grasshoppers, among other things. Spiders were no exception, and there was no shortage of insects there, so it was a good place for a net. I wasn't particularly scared of spiders, but I didn't like them either. At least they were just harmless orb weavers. Regardless, I avoided the bushes just in case and followed the path like the good city boy I was. There was a large boulder surrounded by grass that was strangely tall, making it look like it was put there by people. On its dewy surface there was a gray tree frog, ready to go after the many insects scattered about. I walked a bit further and came across a house with a small field nearby. The field's location made it safe to assume it belonged to the inhabitants. If there were inhabitants anyway. Couldn't see anyone. Just like always, there was grass everywhere. There was another boulder standing next to the house. This one was obviously placed there by human hand. What was the point? Was it a monument or something? The footprints continued to the field. The wet mud on the field was full of small, young, but healthy-looking rice plants. If you ignored the standing boulders in the area, this place looked like a normal farming village. I was both relieved and worried at the same time. I saw children of the corn. From what I saw, there weren't any other buildings besides the ones in the settlement. Everything beyond was just mountains, meaning that this place was completely isolated. And it was completely outsider. I was a complete outsider. There was no way things would go well if I ran into a random local. I belatedly crouched to hide myself a bit. It was probably best for me to go back. She might have been looking for me. Suddenly, I heard a sound. I looked for its source and found a speaker on a wooden utility pole in the middle of a small plaza. A morning broadcast? I'd never heard this tune before. It was cheerful at first, but had some parts that seemed really dark. I found it unsettling. Perplexed, I stopped walking, and what happened next made me hide myself. There was a person in the area, densely surrounded by houses. But they weren't normal. What was that appearance? What was that on her face? Though I was a fair distance away, I could see an old woman with some sort of cloth over her face, shakily walk out from between the buildings. Oddly enough, there were boulders even there. But even weirder was the fact she walked up to one of them, lightly joined her hands above, and bowed her head before it, her face still hidden. Then, all was silence. It actually looked like she was revering it. To me, it looked like she was praying to it. This was bad, really bad. It wandered into a settlement with a unique culture to it, to put it lightly. Get causing trouble, and also like me could get killed here. I just turned around and ran for it. I dashed up to the hill, past the house, through the construction site, till I arrived back at the apartment building. Jimmy looked like a relatively reasonable person. Maybe she could tell me what was really going on. It just hit me that the way she described this place was somewhat weird. He basically said it wasn't normal.
あるいは、ちえみちゃんが恐るべき殺人鬼で、僕を酔っ払わせてぶっ殺す。
はあ、ヤマンバ。いいね。ブッシュブッシュ殺しちゃう。
No way. What if she actually was the bait they used to lure outsiders here? Huh. Eventually, the broadcast stopped. Jimmy still hadn't come out of her room. She didn't respond even when I knocked or called out to her. I didn't have to worry about this, right? That just made my inexplicable unease grow worse. What if this was a trap? Was I in a dangerous situation? I had to talk to her. If she was a normal person, anyway. Maybe my best option was to run away right now. I wouldn't know where to run. I couldn't remember the path we'd taken here. But I was pretty sure we'd went uphill, so maybe I had to go down. If I avoided the settlement and went back to the mountain stream, I could escape by following the wild roads. That was my best option, even with the difficulties considered. Thankfully, I'd taken my bag with me. Took out a 5,000 yen note and put it in Shima's newspaper box. It was payment for last night's beer. The moment I turned around to take my leave, the door to the room next to the staircase opened slightly with a creak. I saw an eye glaring at me through the gap. Her high-pitched scream pierced my eardrums. I screamed too, scared shitless, and ran for it. Suddenly, I stepped onto the wet hallway floor at a bad angle. I fell. Ow. That hurt.
Haru-chan! どうした?
ああ、誰このおっちゃん。
Old?
あなた、誰ですか? っていうか、大丈夫ですか?
The reasonable sounding voice prompted me to shake off the pain and raise my head. Ow. I did not expect that. There were two boys in formal-looking school uniforms.
大丈夫ですか?
He repeated the question.
ああ、ちょっと驚いただけで。
おっちゃん、ちえねえの友達？
Chini.
ああ、ちえみちゃんのことか。
大学のお知り合いですか? お知り合いが来るなんて聞いてなかった。
いや、いろいろあって助けられたんだ。怪しいものじゃないんだ。怪しく見えるだろうけど。
怪しいな、おっちゃん。
どうすればいいのかな。とりあえず、名前は久石春明と言います。
僕は織部安永です。こっちは鴨志田近持。
モッチーだ。
Good to know. If I called him that, maybe he'd stop calling me old man. I was only 24, for Christ's sake.
それでこっちが。春ちゃん何してんの？
だって知らない人が。
Apparently, this Haru-chan was the person who looked at me through the gap in the door and screamed.
とりあえず大丈夫そうだから出ておいでよ。
A moment later, she slammed the door shut, and after a few more moments of hesitation, opened it again. Oh. Whoa. Looked like a student too, except her fashion sense was exceptionally, flashy.
あなた、誰ですか？
久石春明と言って、この近くでバイクで事故って、芹沢千恵美さんに助けられたんだ。
え？それって、もしかして、昨日の夜、千恵姉の部屋に。
あ、うん。
This looks
止めて
bad.
もらった。
She cut my words short with her ear-piercing shriek.
通りで騒がしかったと思った。何考えてるの？嫁入り前の女性の家に不潔。
ああ、うん。それはその通りで、僕もちょっと躊躇はしたんだけど、千恵美ちゃんが親切で。
千恵美ちゃん？あれなれしい。それじゃあもしかして千恵姉が出てこないのって。ドアに5000円挟んであるじゃん。
久石さん、まさか。
Oh, no boy, this looks bad, but...
違う。単に昨日お酒をおごられたから、そのお返しで。
You got her drunk?
千恵姉の体が5000円ってそんな安いわけないでしょ。
You calling her a prostitute?
ただれてるな。
The hell were these kids saying?
ああ、君、助けてくれないか？
初対面で女性の部屋でお酒を飲んだんですか？そして千恵姉は出てこない。
Crap, I had no allies here.
一体何事？
Oh, thank God. And so the subject of the conversation joined in.
おお、千恵美ちゃん、君からも事情を説明。
Something was off about her aura. What happened to the lively girl she'd been yesterday?
千恵姉、まさか。
恥ずかしいとこを見られちゃった。
Don't say that.
いや、ちょっと待って、ちょっと。
もう嫁いけない。
You're horrible. Don't do that. Man, what a mess. Though Chimi's face was all pale, she was actually grinning. She obviously had a bad hangover, but that didn't stop her from messing around. I like her. After calming everyone down, she may explain what actually had happened. How we met in the middle of the night, how she let me stay out of goodwill, how we drank ourselves silly, and how nothing happened between us that we can remember.
いやー、久々に深酒しちゃって思いっきり入っちゃったよ。春明さん、お見苦しいとこ申し訳ない。
That's okay.
ああ、いや、それはいいんだけど。
It happens to the best of us. The Haruchan girl still looked at me funny though.
非常識。
She hates us. She will never like us.
ああ、うん。申し訳ない。昨日は本当に疲労困憊でね。
Yeah, you don't understand. I was driving for hours. Lost. My bike got crashed. I was desperate. I'd cling on to anything at that point.
まあ、知恵ねえだしな。雑把だよな。
事情も事情だし、年寄りたちも納得するかな。
Elders.
ちなみに会ったのってどこです？
それはね、
下の方の河原だよ。
Oh yeah, okay. I was gonna say, the way she said that made it seem like she didn't want them to know where we were.
それはちょっと。
大騒ぎだ。
You weren't supposed to leave the village. It's
2日連
forbidden.
続で2人もだなんて。
Two people over 2 days.
もしかしてまずいこと言った？
Confused.
はあ、まあいずれバレることよ。さっきあれだけ大騒ぎしちゃったから休みず順に知れちゃったろうし。
君、2日連続で2人もって何のこと？
触らないで、汚い。
I wasn't trying to touch her, and I wasn't filthy. Sure, I hadn't had a bath in over a day, but still.
君、何が騒ぎになるの？
タエバあたりが拒否ってなる。
Well, that sure sounded bad.
詳しい話を聞かせてくれない？
ちょっと説明は難しいんですけど、まあここは田舎なんで町といろいろ違うってことですよ。
Things are different here in the big city. This guy here was Oribe-kun, ignoring Chime, and he was the easiest person to talk to.
どうすればいいかな？
まあちえみがなんとかしましょう。学生諸君はとりあえずご飯行かないと。
この混乱には乗るっきゃない。
I do too.
乗るっきゃなくないもっち。とりあえず行っちゃいな。私らちょっと遅れていくから。
まあちょっと時間ずらした方がいいよね。揉めそうだし。
さすがやすくん、察しがいいぞ。ごめんけど二人のおもりよろしくね。
うん。
もう知恵ね、子供扱いはやめてよ。そうだ、うんこしてやるぞ。
It's disgusting.
ほらほら行くぞ、モッチーにはるちゃん。
And so the students walked off toward the stairs. It was kind of easy to tell what sort of relationship they had. Anyway,
彼らがこの建物の他の住人？
そういうこと。学生寮
student
だから
dorm.
ね。
That makes sense. In this Hicksville? Still, my senses have betrayed me. There actually were other people here.
ちなみに春秋さん、他の人と出会ってトラブったりしてないよね。
We saw a couple people.
うん。一応それ警戒してたから。
ならよかった。よし、ちょっとしたら食堂に行きましょう。
あ、朝食？
の、朝食は今から食べてください。食堂へは一応面通しをしに行くの。
え、誰と？
よそ者が皿長からやってきたってことに文句を言いそうな人たち。
Oh, so like that Thai bar person?
お世話になります。
いいってことです。その代わり、朝のことは秘密で。
I mean, it's already out.
そりゃあもちろ
Sure
ん。
thing.
ところで、皿長って何？あの河原？
そう、皿長の瀬っていう川だけど、あの辺まとめて皿長って呼ぶの。
Oh.
ちょっと曰くのある場所でね。
曰く。
うん。あの川は汚れていて、死人が帰ってくるみたいな伝説がね。
Oh, wow. Oh. So that's why they'd reacted like that.
他にもその手のルールというか、しきたりみたいなのが？
たくさんあります。なので基本、ちえみちゃんにお任せを。
Gladly, on all fronts.
ちなみに、身の危険とかは？
Am I in danger?
ないない。でも、いろいろ不愉快な思いをする前に、早く出ていけた方がいいかも。
Like what?
そのための根回しに行くと。
そうそう。
The settlement I'd strayed to was a weird place, but at least the guide was reliable. And she wanted me to leave ASAP, huh? That was depressing. Hime gave me some cup ramen for breakfast. She boiled the water in a small electric kettle. The girl herself was too hungover to eat anything. I did take the opportunity to pay her back for last night's drinks in person, though. Then we made our way to the dining hall.
この岩って何なの？
一応お守りみたいなもの？昔からあるよ。
よそでは見たことないよ。
ああ、言われたらそうかも。
Huh. She led me along a narrow path that I followed earlier. It didn't seem like any cars used this one. It was very farmy, I guess. This area was also littered with those boulders. Some were cracked, broken, or half buried in the fields. They were clearly religious symbols, but it didn't look like they were that important these days. Or were they? We saw that one woman pray to them. Now that I knew I was safe, I once again became curious about this place.
人だ。
He was working on the field.
匠兄ちゃんだ。おはよ
Jimmy waved her hand. The man responded, but then froze
う。
mid-wave.
じゃあ行きましょう。
いいの？多分あの人、僕の存在に驚いたんじゃ。
大丈夫。どうせ後で食堂に来るから、説明はその時にするってことで。
Well, if she said so. As an outsider, I had no choice but to rely on her. This was the part of the village I saw this morning, where the buildings were more densely packed. Didn't notice it back then, but it was actually kind of weird. Basically, it felt desolate. The wooden bungalows in particular were more or less overgrown, buried in tall grass and other greenery. If this was all I saw of the village and someone told me it was abandoned, I would have easily believed them. However, two of the buildings stood out. There was a hall right beyond the hill. It wasn't that big, but it looked grand and well maintained. The other building was obviously the dining hall. It looked a bit dirty, but I could tell there were people inside. From what I could tell, it was the most lively place in this poor excuse for a community. Suddenly, the three students walked out, shouting about something.
あ、知恵ねと、Fusaishiさん。
サイドおはよう。ちょっと遅くない？モッチーがバカなことばっか言って遅くなっちゃったんだもん。
そうだ、僕が悪だ。味噌汁をよこせ。
まあ早足なら間に合うでしょう。みんなしっかり勉強しといで。
Oh, wait, is that class too? Half dashing, the three ran to the path we came
み
from.
んな高校生なんだ。
そう、山をぐーっと登ったところに分校があるんだ。私も3年前まで通ってたな。
Man, that would suck to have to go to that every day.
やたら不便だね。
それでもみんなあの寮に住める分優遇されてるんだけど。
That's true. Jimmy was entirely straight-faced. There wasn't even a hint of a smile.
さあ、気合を入れて入りましょう。
そうしましょ
気合入んない。
We laughed a little and passed the curtain.
いらっしゃい。あら。
The inside was as aged as the outside, but it looked well maintained.
ちえみちゃん、お客さん？
The hostess-looking lady asked. Though somewhat aged and fatigued, she was definitely beautiful. There were two others beside her. One was a lady in her 70s or 80s. She was probably the one I saw this morning. So what matched, anyway. The other was a man who seemed a bit younger than her, probably in his late 60s. Though they were just sitting there, there was a menacing aura about them.
紹介するね。Fusaishi Haruakiさん。昨日の晩、皿長で迷ってたのを、ちえみが保護しました。
The reactions were powerful. The lady gasped while the two elders rose to their feet with alarm. Tension that was already there the moment I walked in reached its peak.
気にするのもわかるけど、これは単なる偶然です。あの子と違って、この人は素性が明らかだし、バイクで旧道に突っ込んで事故ったって非常に気の毒な事情もある。 そんなわけで我々としてはこの人がちゃんと帰れるように手伝ってあげるのがいいとちえみは思います。どうですか皆様方。
After saying all that, Chime fell silent. The ball was in their court now.
まあそれは大変。
She was all like, "Oh no, you're not in any danger. This definitely sounds like we're in some sort of danger." The lady voiced a harmless opinion, careful not to upset the old people. It was pretty clear who was in charge. They were elders in more ways than one.
ちーちゃんはなんで夜に皿長なんぞ言っとったかね。
That's a good question.
虫の知らせかな。前の日にあんなことあったし眠れなかったから。
そいじゃあやっぱり読み人じゃないんかね。
Oh no, we're not a demon.
やめ、タイバ
From the conversation, it was pretty clear that something had happened before I arrived here. It was probably similar to what happened with me. She'd mentioned some little girl. Perhaps there was a child who wandered in here like I did. According to Chime, the Saranaga Rapids were a place of significance around here. It was a place from which dead people came to life or whatever. Oh, so this Tai must have been the E lady who that Boyd mentioned, and the Yombito must have been termed for the dead who came from there. Apparently, the primary goal here was convincing these elders to approve of helping me.
おい、どっから来た
The old man's voice put my derailed mind back on track.
はい、東京です。
You're a long way from Tokyo, boy.
いくつじゃ
年は24です。
地位より上じゃが
He chuckled. I immediately realized he was taking a jab at me for hiding behind a younger girl.
申し遅れました。Fusaishi春明です。芹沢さんにも紹介された通り、バイクで事故って迷い込みました。どうやら僕は、ここでは異分子のようで、変なことを言ったりしたりして、皆さんに迷惑かけたくないなと。それで、芹沢さんに紹介をお願いしたんですが、僕から改めてお願いします。すぐ出て行きますから、それまでは僕の存在を多めに見ていただけないかと。それと、僕を助けてくれた芹沢さんを責めないであげてください。
春明さん。
おそらく芹沢さんは、ここの常識を外れたところで、僕を助けてくれたんだと思うんです。学生たちもみんな驚いてた。
まあ。
これでも大人です。自分の責任は自分で取りますし、皆さんにかけた迷惑は
Oh god, I
可
have
能
no
な
we're
限
gonna
り
regret
償い
saying
ます。
that.
ですので、どうかお願いします。
Bowed my head.
ちゃんとしとるタイバ
あたしゃすかんわね。そんなに髪茶色に染めてから。
What? A person can have brown hair? I have brown hair. Am I suspicious? Forgot I didn't look very presentable to more traditionalist people.
よそは皆こうよはよう返せばええ
Okay, so he's like, yeah, just let's let him help him leave. Help him leave. You don't want any of this. Seems like a good guy.
ほいじゃあ好きにしなさいね。
I guess I got their half-hearted approval?
春秋春かうちの孫も春じゃ紛らわしい。
あ、もしかして
そう、春ちゃんのおじいさんの牧島勘三さんよ。
どうも。
I didn't know what else to say. Haruchan and I weren't on the best of terms so far. Anyway, it seemed like we were past the difficult part.
皿長に突っ込んだか。
いえ、コンビニで道を聞いた後、脇道に入って未舗装になったところで滑り落ちて、横転しました。
で、皿長登ったか。なぜ途中で引き返さねえ。
He wasn't impressed by my choice of actions. It just hit me that I had no idea how much time passed between the crash and my meeting with Chime.
わしと匠で見てきちゃる。
匠は他を見よるわよ。
タエバ、追い出す思うて手伝わせ。
カンちゃんはいっつもそうね。
ばあちゃん、おやさん、どうした？
We're joined by a new inhabitant.
ちえみ、こいつは？
あ、たくみ姉ちゃん。
Oh, so he was the one we saw in the field. Wow, he sure looked big from up close. All that field work was good for his muscles, clearly. From what I could tell, he was in his 30s. As Chimi introduced me and told me of him of my situation, I found out his name, Takumi Moro.
ああ、そいつは災難だったな。ああ、おやさん。
わしとお前で拾う。
だな。ばあちゃん、こいつ助けっからちょっと待っててな。もう農薬は巻き終わってるから、昼から草刈るわ。
たくみは優しいね。
こんなもんなんでもないって。すぐ何もなかったようにできるからよ。
そうね。
Nothing, eh?
お兄ちゃんや。
え、僕ですか？はい。
ここは安水言うてね。あんまりええ場所じゃないんよ。
It was the place that wasn't good? Not my presence here?
あたしらもよそのもんが苦手だし、よそのもんも触れんがええ。じゃから、はよ出てお行き。
はい、そのつもりです。
話はついた感じか？
うん、ありがとう、たくみ兄ちゃん。
I was beginning to understand how things worked here. Although Kanzu Makashimi's voice was the most powerful here, it was also important to get Tai-san's approval. Kanzu-san was probably in charge of tackling the settlement's practical problems, while Tai-san provided spiritual and moral direction. And when it was time to be civilized, Takumi-san came and convinced Tai-san, acting as an intermediary. It looked like Takumi-san himself understood such subtleties, and Chime came to rely on this side of him. But we still don't know her name. The lady brought some tea to the old folk. Perfect timing.
Oh, Kaori-san! 俺には飯頼むぜ。
So that was her name.
朝早くからお疲れ様でした。大盛りにしますからね。
なーに、安水とばあちゃんと香織さんのためならへでもねえよ。
まあ。
These two sure seem to get along. They looked about the same age, too.
さあ、お客さんもご飯にされます？
あ、いえ、いただいてきたので。
それじゃあ、お茶をどうぞ。おにぎりでもお出ししましょう。
ああ、それは。
ごめんなさい。ちょっと急ぎで電話借りていいかな、かおりさん。
Oh?
それはいいけど、お茶くらいは。
うん、ありがとう。でもほんと緊急だから。行こう、春秋さん。
うん。
Didn't look like I could say no. We went up to the nearby stairs to what seemed like a living space. At the end of the creaky hallway, there was a black rotary phone, a rarity in this day and age.
これがここ、安水唯一の電話だから。
This is the only phone you have? Seriously?
ちなみに、携帯電話はどのキャリアも通じませんので。
Of course not.
そうなのか。でもどこに電話しろって？
ロードサービスとか保険とか、あと必要なら家族にも連絡。
Oh, well, that made sense. Hell, I should have been the one to say that.
さっきも言ったけど、できるだけここを早く出られた方がいいから、使えるものは何でも使いましょう。
よそ者が歓迎されない場所だから？
そういうことです。
それ以上の詮索は無用と。
春秋さんはとっても察しがいい。 それはいいことだと思う。ただ、好奇心もとっても強く見える。
I mean, kinda.
バレたか。
バレますとも。でも正直、あんまりいろいろ首突っ込まない方がいいかも。
どうせすぐに別れるんだし。
その通り。
なんだか寂しいな。
お、ちえみちゃんのメアド御書も
くれるならぜひ。
やったー、これで男友達53人
目。53? Oh god.
テンションガタ落ちですわ。
That is a letdown. We still went on to exchange our info. I could only hope that being number 53 wasn't as big a problem as it sounded.
それはともかく、個人的興味で言えば、何が問題になってて、どんな背景があるのか知りたいのだけど。
おすすめしないな。
なぜかな。
Why?
私が不愉快になるから。
あんまり故郷が好きじゃない？
うん。正直、嫌い。
ここの人とは仲良さそうに見えるけど。
Keep appearances.
ああ、それは見えるだけですね。私相当の問題児だったんで、ご年配方とは結構気まずいよ。それに、パッと見はわからないいろんなしがらみもあるし。まあ、住人自体はそんなに嫌いじゃないけどね。
With that, I decided to stop prying about this place any further. I'd back away before she came to heat.
あ、でも、一つだけ聞いていい？
いい度胸。何かな？
室匠さんのこと好きだったりする？
え？私が？
うん。
さすがにそれはないな。匠兄ちゃんかっこいいけど、ごつすぎるし、10以上年違うし、対象外です。それに、匠兄ちゃんは昔から香織さん一筋だし。
Kaori is very beautiful, so it makes sense.
やっぱそうなんだ。結婚してるわけじゃないの？
うん。香織さん未亡人だから。
Widow. Aw. Sad. That seemed complicated. I decided she may have been acting a bit strange. Why had she dragged me away from the tea? Seemed so awkward, too. Assuming she hadn't been jealous of Kiori-san and simply didn't want her to charm me, it would mean that she just hadn't wanted me to drink the tea. Why? Also, why'd she feed me cup ramen if I could have just gotten food at the dining hall? Looking too deep into things was part of my nature, though things were never as bad as I assumed. I went on to call my insurance company, where I found out something. Apparently, this village was hundreds of kilometers away from the nearest service station, meaning I was ineligible for the normal service and had to pay extra. And the extra was no small amount either. It actually went over 100,000 yen. Damn. That's a lot. Also, I could have avoided this if I'd taken a more expensive plan. This was all my own fault for not taking the bike salesman's advice. Shit. Said I would consider it and hung up. Then I went back to the dining hall. Well, I'm screwed.
あれ、おじいさんたちは。
Where'd everyone go? Customers had changed completely. Tai-san, Kazu-san, and Takumi-san were gone now. They were replaced by a caricature of a juvenile delinquent. Shouted at me. He seemed like he was trying too hard. He then slammed his bowl and chopsticks on the table and stood up to intimidate me.
Fusaishi Haruaki です。
はあ？んだよ、舐めてんのか。
まあ、義継。初対面の方になんて口の利き方を。
Oh, she's telling him off.
うるせえババ。
Hag? Oh god.
そいつ誰だよ。
バイクで事故った旅行者の春秋さん。
Boy, was that introduction half-assed.
改めて、こちら織部香織さんと、
Oh, it's her second son.
義継くん、安永くんが長男ね。
え、安永くんって朝の彼？
そう、よく見たら似てるでしょ。
Yoribes, what an unpredictable family.
兄貴のこと言ってんじゃねえよ。うぜんだよ、うっしゃ。
そう言われてもな、モテちゃうからな、ちえ姉ちゃんは。
And from what I'd seen, that confidence was well justified.
とっとと町へ戻っちまえ、バカ女。バカバカバカ。
どうしよう、春明さん。バカは否定できないかも。
なんと、ちえみちゃんはバカだったのか。よーし、バカバカ。
ひどい。
言ってやろうぜ、吉嗣くん。バカバカ。
なんなんだよ、てめえ。死ねバカにしてんじゃねえよ。
You're pretty conflicted, aren't you?
ごめん、ちえみちゃん。本心じゃないんだ。
おお、見事な連続手のひら返し。このちえみをあっけに取られさせるとはなかなかやるな、春明さん。
ちえみちゃんには負けないぜ。
付き合ってんのか、てめえら。
Boy, did I wish.
いい加減になさい、吉嗣。とうに遅刻でしょ。着替えて学校。
うるせえ。行かねえよ。
Mumbling something, the kid walked out the dining hall, leaving his half-full bowl behind.
ごめんなさいね。お恥ずかしいところを。
根は素直ないい子なんですけどね。
I'm sure he is. I could actually see that somewhat.
あ、ところで、牧島さんとムロさんは？
あ、もうバイク拾いに出ましたよ。
まずい。追いかけないと。
うん、場所は分かってるみたいだったし、大丈夫じゃない？
いや、一応ニュートラルにすれば押せるけどさ、操作わかるのかな。あとさすがに手伝うべきでしょ。作業が非効率になっちゃまずいし。
その程度なら手出しはやめときましょう。
なんで？
Why?
取りも直さず、春明さんがよそ者だからです。長時間一緒に歩くのはちょっとおすすめできない。
問題になりそうな人たちには思えなかったけど。
そりゃあ二人とも大人だから。でも基本的にこのちえみほどオープンな人はここにはそうそういないからね。春明さんは平気かもだけど、一緒にいると向こうがストレス溜めるかもしれない。ただでさえ今普通じゃないから。
まあ、そうね。任せろと言われたら、手出しをしない方がいいでしょうね。
そうなんですか。
ええ。安水には安水のやり方がある。男の人たちはそれにこだわるから。
I can understand that. A visitor should behave like one. Doing anything more would be uncalled for. It was an old-fashioned way of thinking. This was an old-fashioned kind of place for sure.
じゃあ、どこで待とうか。
うちに戻って待ちましょう。
Expected as much, but it still made me curious. Normally you'd expect we'd sit around and drink some tea right here, so why didn't we? As we waited, Shime, casually but uncomfortably, told me several things. First, I found out that the people here in Yasumizu were a bit on edge right now. The reason for that was the fact that, excluding me, they had 3 whole outsiders here. I'd assumed this myself from what I knew so far, but apparently yesterday morning a little girl was found straying around the Saranga Rapids. They couldn't even find out her name, let alone who her parents were, so they didn't know how to handle her. For now, one of the inhabitants was looking after her, like I'd been told. The more superstitious inhabitants, Tai-san mostly, saw her as a bad omen. I suggested leaving her to the police, but Shime didn't seem to think it was a good idea. Barely made sense to me, but if I were to believe her, things around here were not such that not even the cops could do anything. But apparently the remaining 2 outsiders were a pair of journalists gathering info for a magazine article. Unlike the little girl and I, they'd come here via the normal route through Kami Fujiyoshi, and therefore wasn't considered a bad omen or whatever. Still, even normal outsiders put the people here on edge. Through this talk, I also got some details about the area itself. Yasumizu was a settlement pair of part of an autonomous region called the Fujiyoshi Village, or simply Fujiyoshi. It's also been there on the map that I've shown at the store. Fujiyoshi was split into two areas, Yasumizu and Kami Fujiyoshi. They were separated by a mountain. Going to Kami Fujiyoshi took about an hour by foot or 20 minutes by car on the winding but paved road. Side note, the school the students went to was in Kami Fujiyoshi. These two settlements had ties so strong they shared customs and culture. Chimi also said that the local seasonal events were quite unconventional. I asked her to elaborate, but all she would say was that Yasumizu had special meaning to Fujiyoshi. She was making me more suspicious than I wanted to be. This conversation wasn't nearly as exciting as the one we had last night. Well, at least I found out she didn't have a boyfriend right now. Very intriguing. Okay, well, I think that's going to be it for the quick look because it's already running pretty long. If you like the game, you can buy it right now. Actually, can you? You could, if you have the Europe. It's out in Europe right now, but it won't come out. I think was it the 18th? No, it's already 18th. No, 22nd. 22nd North America. So this will come out tomorrow, actually, when the video goes up. The day after. November 19th if you want a physical version. And if you want to get it on Steam, you're going to have to wait till December 5th. But it seems like a really cool horror kind of visual novel game. So if that's your forte, I think you're going to love this game. And remember, if you like the video, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more content. Have a good day, everybody, and take care.